Her breath hitched, shallow and desperate. Each inhale felt like a struggle, a battle against the rising tide of emotions that threatened to drown her. The plane hummed around her, a metal cocoon hurtling through a vast, indifferent sky. The hum was a constant reminder of the distance growing between her and the life she once knew, but she saw none of it. Her eyes, wide with a fear she couldn't name, clung to the photo in her hand. It was her anchor, her only connection to a world that now seemed so far away. A man and a woman, their faces creased with the comforting familiarity of home, smiled back. Their smiles were a balm, a reminder of the love that awaited her on the other side of this journey. Her parents, so far away. The distance was not just physical but emotional, a chasm that seemed impossible to bridge. She gripped the photo tighter as if she could will herself into the frame, back to the warmth of their embrace. She longed to feel their arms around her, to hear their comforting words. A sob tore through her, a raw, primal sound of love and loss. It was a sound that came from the deepest part of her soul, a cry for the comfort she so desperately needed. It was a sound that transcended language, a universal plea for comfort in the face of the unknown. In that moment she was not just a daughter missing her parents, she was every person who had ever felt the ache of separation. The photo trembled in her hand, a silent echo of her own frailty. It was a fragile piece of paper, yet it held the weight of her entire world. As the plane continued its journey, she held on, hoping that soon she would be back where she belonged. The plane, a Qantas Airbus A380, sliced through the clouds, its powerful engines humming a steady tune. This marvel of modern engineering, a symbol of human ingenuity, soared above a world oblivious to the drama unfolding within its metal belly. Each passenger carried their own story, their own dreams and fears, hidden behind the thin walls of the aircraft. Below, the Australian landscape unfurled, a tapestry of reds and ochres, of endless horizons and ancient stories. The vast expanse seemed to whisper tales of the land's timeless beauty and the resilience of its people. But for the woman, in seat 23B, the world had shrunk to the size of the photograph in her hand. Her eyes traced the familiar faces, the moments frozen in time, each one a fragment of a life she once knew. India, with its bustling streets and the comforting aroma of her mother's spices, felt galaxies away. The vibrant colors, the cacophony of sounds, the warmth of home, all seemed like distant memories, almost dreamlike in their intensity. She saw her childhood home, the mango tree heavy with fruit, the courtyard echoing with laughter. The tree, a silent witness to her childhood games and secrets, stood as a symbol of the life she was leaving behind. Memories, vivid and precious, flooded her mind, each one a bittersweet reminder of all she was leaving behind. The festivals, the family gatherings, the simple joys of everyday life. They all played like a movie in her mind, each scene more poignant than the last. The life she built, the love she shared, it all felt so fragile, like a gossamer thread threatening to snap. The future seemed uncertain, a vast unknown, but she held on to the hope that the strength of her memories would guide her through the journey ahead. Around her, life on the plane continued in its strange, suspended reality. The murmur of conversations, the clinking of ice and plastic cups, the gentle drone of the engines, all provided a surreal soundtrack to her silent struggle. A baby gurgled a few rows ahead, oblivious to the specter of mortality hovering in the air. A flight attendant, her smile professionally plastered on, offered a reassuring nod as she walked past. But the woman in 23B saw none of it. She was adrift in a sea of her own fear, the photo her only anchor. Each labored breath was a testament to her fading strength, each tear a silent farewell. 32 years. 32 years of dreams, hopes, and endless possibilities. A life brimming with promise, with dreams nurtured in the heart of Bangalore and transplanted to the bustling energy of Sydney. The journey was not just geographical, but also a journey of the soul, a quest for something greater. She was a software engineer, her days filled with the logic of code and the satisfaction of creation. Each line of code was a step towards innovation, a small piece of a larger puzzle she was determined to solve. But it was her family, the love she held for them and the love they showered upon her, that truly defined her. Their support was her foundation, their encouragement her driving force. Her parents, their faces etched with the wisdom of a life well lived, were her anchors. They had taught her the values of hard work, integrity, and above all, love. Their daily phone calls, filled with the mundane details of their lives, were her lifeline. These conversations, though simple, were a reminder of home, a connection to her roots. And now, as she felt herself slipping away, it was their faces she clung to, their love a beacon in the gathering darkness. In her final moments, it was the memories of their laughter, their shared stories, and their unwavering support that brought her solace. Her life, though filled with professional achievements, was ultimately a testament to the power of love and family. The flight from Sydney to London was supposed to be a celebration, a chance to introduce her fiancé to the people and places she held dear. She had dreamt of this moment, of seeing the pride in her parents' eyes as they welcomed the man she loved into their family. But fate, it seemed, had other plans. A persistent cough that she'd dismissed as a stubborn cold had morphed into something more sinister during the layover in Perth. Now, as the plane soared over the vast emptiness of the Australian outback, she knew, with a chilling certainty, that she wouldn't live to see her parents' faces again. The first sign that something was wrong was a gasp, sharp and sudden. Then came the panicked calls for help, the concerned murmurs rippling through the cabin like a wave. The flight attendants, their faces etched with a different kind of worry now, rushed to her side. An off-duty doctor, his vacation cut short by circumstance, took charge. He worked with a quiet urgency, his brow furrowed in concentration. But even he, a stranger to her pain, couldn't help but be moved by the raw emotion etched on her face by the desperate grip she had on the photo. The announcement, when it came, was delivered with a somber professionalism that did little to soften the blow. "We are diverting to Adelaide," the captain's voice, strained but steady, echoed through the cabin. "We have a medical emergency." The plane, a vessel of hopes and dreams just moments ago, was now a tomb, carrying its silent cargo towards a destination she would never reach. The photo lay on the tray table, a silent testament to a love that even death couldn't extinguish. In the seat pocket, a half-written postcard addressed to her parents spoke of her excitement, her longing to see them. The news, when it reached Bangalore, landed like a bomb. Her parents, their faces etched with a grief so profound it seemed to age them instantly, clung to each other, their tears a shared ocean of pain. The phone call, the one they had every day without fail, went unanswered. They had spoken just hours ago, her voice filled with the joy of the upcoming trip. Now there was only silence, a deafening void where her laughter used to be. The world, once filled with her light, had gone dark. Their daughter, their pride and joy was gone. In the days that followed, stories emerged from the flight, tales of her kindness, her infectious laughter. Passengers, strangers brought together by circumstance, spoke of her courage, her quiet dignity in the face of death. They spoke of the photo, clutched in her hand until the very end, a symbol of a love that transcended borders and mortality. The photo, now a cherished relic, found its way back to her parents. It was a tangible link to their daughter, a reminder of the love that even death couldn't erase. They held it close, their tears falling on her smiling face, a silent conversation between a love that was and a grief that would never truly fade. The woman in seat 23B may have left this world, her journey cut tragically short. But her story, a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring power of love, lives on. It's a story whispered on the wind, carried on the wings of every plane that takes to the sky. It's a story that reminds us to cherish every moment, to hold our loved ones close, for life, like a long-haul flight, can change course in an instant. And sometimes all we have left are memories, photographs, and the echoes of love that whisper on the wind.